Police and prisons, what legislative reforms would you support to improve police accountability, support, or such as supporting decertifying officers found guilty of serious misconduct? What sentencing reforms would you support to reduce incarceration for nonviolent offenses? And how would you address concerns about the conditions in, I missed a word, both state and private prisons?
So private prisons should not be a thing, in my opinion. Um, Look at how much corruption happens in private prisons. They're not upkept because we're pocketing money. Um, they're not having to answer to appropriate entities. It's a free for all and it's not okay. So that should not be a thing.
Yeah.
Um, as far as non-violent offenders, if we're pulling somebody over in their car and they have 2 ounces of marijuana, we're really going to use taxpayer dollars to put them in jail for however long till they go to trial. And then we're going to put even more tax dollars into a hefty prison sentence for marijuana. When where we could be using that money to require GPS monitoring for violent offenders
Mm-hmm.
post pre-trial, post-trial. We could be spending more money on things like that, enforcing stricter guidelines for violent offenders.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many of these, even property crimes,
Mm-hmm.
certain kinds that why are people going to prison for? That's wasting our money. Somebody steals your car, yeah, it's inconvenient and they should have consequences, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But, 20 years of prison or something, that is a waste of tax dollars.
Yeah, I think that the focus, even in the state prisons, there is a lot of corruption and money and because they brought in private business into it, right?
Mhm.
Private businesses are using prison labor at a much lower rate than they would get non-prison labor. And then those laborers give 30% of their pay or whatever to the prison. And so, we've weaved enough private businesses into the infrastructure of our state prisons that they're almost like for-profit prisons, and their conditions are bad too. But it's all the same, like underlying issues, which is we are not focused on rehabilitation.
Mhm.
We are either focused on sheer brutal punishment to try to deter people, or we are focused on just housing them until they're dead or killing them in some states. And so,
Mhm.
yeah, I think that somebody that somebody that's a kid and makes a mistake during a robbery, like, yeah, they were in a robbery, the gun went off and killed somebody, or maybe they didn't even shoot the gun, the guy that they were with just decided to shoot somebody, and that wasn't part of the plan, and they get put away for life. I feel like that person has a chance to be rehabilitated if that was their first offense or whatever, you know what I mean? And I just don't think there's
And
enough
yeah,
focus in the entire system on rehabilitating anybody.
yeah, and we have to consider the intent behind crimes. It's like you said, a kid, yes, should face consequences for playing with a gun or even having one in their possession.
Mm-hmm.
But, an accidental shooting or even an intentional one, yes, there needs to be consequences and they do need to be long lasting. But while we're serving these consequences, we need to be focused on rehabilitation.
Mm-hmm.